Guys, let's get into the game. Game 1 of today, picks and bans coming through. And we are starting with a ban of Flippin' Faith and a ban of Gyroscope, answered by Into the Breach. So now it is Grenadier and Massa, Big's first pick. They're gonna go for freestyle, so that map was left open, and parkour is the answer. So I predicted those two maps. From this point on, I don't know. We might see reps from, we see slowdown actually from Massa and Grenadier. They like that map. What do we think they're gonna go for? Agility Dash, also a strong pick. It feels like Into the Breach are gonna pick the same 3 maps. They might pick reps now for the last one. They picked these maps the previous week. They might just go for reps once again. Rather than... Oh, Slippy! Slippy was left open and reps the 7th. That might favor Into the Breach, actually. But they have a pretty tough start to this match. Freestyle, Massa and Grenadier are good at it. They've been better at parkour recently. Slowdown, Grenadier has some great lines there. Agility Dash, we haven't really seen them much on. Arrow Pipes is good for them, so... I think if Into the Breach can survive the early stages of this match, they might be able to take it. But Big are gonna have a lot of pressure early on, is what it looks like. And they're starting on freestyle. The way Massa described this map is that it is a map where Grenadier is supposed to carry. We can take a look at the map overview. It's a very high-speed map with technical dirt turns that Grenadier really excels at because he uses a steering wheel. And on freestyle, it is very important to be, you know, what do I say, like, minute in the details. You really want to... You want to be basically optimizing every part. That's every map. But listen, freestyle, it's more like a dance than high-octane gameplay. Grenadier's great at that with the steering wheel. Massa also good at it, but he's saying Grenadier needs to carry here for us to win it. For Mime and Elcon, I think it's a different picture. I think they both are looking to win the rounds and try to snipe away first place from Grenadier, even at the cost of a few crashes here and there. So with that being the stage, let's see how the performers perform as we are going live. 14 seconds before round 1 kicks off here. And it's great to see a matchup with different color car skins. In green and yellow, you'll find Big, and in red, you'll find Into the Breach. Here we go. Now, last week, we saw a tremendous jump in pace on this map. The records before used to be 107.3 by Gwen. Now the world record is 107.08, a 0.3 of a second improvement from Pack last week, and I think the players have taken note of his lines and tried to match his pace. So that's what we're going to look for if they can continue this trend of just going faster and faster on the map. Want to watch out on this no steer as Grenadier goes into the wall on the first round. And Massa had to let off a little bit to stay clear. So, round 1 on the map, Grenadier is supposed to carry on for Massa and Grenadier. He has left Massa in a tough spot. 1v2 now against the young Eastern European squad here. See what he can do in the ending. The identity here, the obstacle part, the wall rides. You might start to get familiar with him now. After 4 weeks of play, you want to flick up onto the quarter pipe, and Massa misses it, leaving an opening for the ace here. The points format, they got to get first to 10 points to win a map, and they got to get 4 maps in total to win the match as a whole. Getting first and second here is called an ace. That gives your team 3 points, and the other team gets 0. But if Massa had passed 1 player, and it went first, second, third, so, not first, second, and then third. Does that make sense? If it was a normal victory, they get 2 points. The other team gets 1. If it was a draw, it would be 1 point per team. So, Massa there had an opportunity to reduce the damage, but they start out pretty weak here on their first round. Big, but all the distance still to go to get to 10, and they can come back. Elcon, Grenadier, Massa going on the inside line here, whereas... we see Mime going for that wide approach, and you can see how late it pays off. Only gains about 100th just before the next drift, so about 10 seconds later into the future, that line ends up saving 100th, and now Massa into the wall. This is scary because Big, they're a momentum-based team, and if they keep crashing, that is traditionally been pretty bad for the team. That causes tilt, and then the matches run away from them. So they need to be careful here. Another ace would feel pretty bad, especially if they're going up against Into the Breach on parkour after. Let's see if Alcon and Mime can hold this. Into the first wall ride, Mime with a little bit lower speed. Alcon still getting there though. Grenade gonna try to risk, but he is 1 full second behind and he has respawned. So if both Into the Breach players survive here, then they get another ace, and they do so. 107.5 for Mime and a great winning time. And Alcon there just realizing we have the lead. We can just save and secure the points. So it is 6-0 on Big's map choice. Big chose this, and they have not gotten the fruits for their labor. If you first pick a map, that means it's likely the one you've prepared for the most. The one you want to start off the match with momentum on it. And if that goes awry, that could set a bad tone. So they have to fight back now. They might need an ace of their own to keep a footing in this game. And finally, they've both gotten past that no steering block, then the reset block. They're clear, and you can see what they can do on the ice. Alcon and Mime going higher, trying to land and get to gear 4 earlier. Just before the turn, Alcon here shifts into gear 4. Massa shifts there. And now Alcon will be slightly faster as a product, but it's still just about dead even. Whereas Mime, I think, has made a big mistake. 7 seconds behind. The roles are reversed. Can Alcon hold on now against the onslaught from Grenade and Massa? Grenade with a great identity as always. Low jump, perfect line there to catch up and overtake first. Holding on to that for now. Massa just looking for third, and we will see if the positions hold. Grenade takes a round for Big, and that is a normal victory. 2 points for them, 1 for Into the Breach. Whether or not Mime makes it here does not affect the point total, but we do see Into the Breach get up to 7.
Victory.
And that is potentially track point. If they get an ace, they would take the map for themselves. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a small thing they did in the start there where they dive a little bit in the downhill because they drive over a cruise control block. It locks their speed. And so if you get 1 kilometer an hour more, that pays off. These small things they're paying attention to get every last 100th on the map. Once more on the no steering block. They can't steer after crossing the purple until they hit green, and all 4 players survive. But very close there for Massa, nearly picking the wrong angle. But I think he's just compensating, wants to make sure that he does not hit the left side. That's where most mistakes are made. They look like I have a big lead right now, but then they have to shift gear later, and it will just about equalize, although in the favor of BIGS, Grenade has a pretty strong lead. Big, sorry, I try my best. It's a hard habit to get rid of. Alcon missed the gear here. He's gonna be slow. It's really all on Mime here to deny an ace, as we see Big extending their lead. Grenade and Massa now on their own choice, making it work finally. And they are they're going to ace in return. Very close there. Grenade clipping the last, and a great time for Massa. 107.5. I think that is his tournament record. So once again, look at that small left in the start there. Gets them a little bit more speed until the reset block. Maybe even 100th, if that. But that's what they're doing. 7-5 now from a 6-0 scoreline just a couple of rounds ago. They're fighting back strong here. But Into the Breach are still so close. 1 slip up from Big could be ending the map for them. Massa very close on the left side on that reset, but he gets through. Now the uphill drift. Let's see how they set up the ice part. On board with Mime, going very high up. You can tell the difference here. Also very fascinating that both teams are committed to the same line. You don't see 2 players from the same squad go for different strategies. They're all really aligned on that, believing in their path being the best one. Into the identity, it's still Grenade in the lead, and he does this so well every time. Alcon going wide to keep gear 4. That's going to pay off to stay ahead of Massa, but he still needs Mime here to win this battle for first. Can Mime pass Grenade in the last flick to take the round for Into the Breach? And he gets there. 107.41. And Alcon holds on to third. They're at 9-6 right now. 1 more point necessary to take Big's map choice. Great round there. That was almost league record just, 2 weeks ago. And now several players are at that echelon. Just beautiful to see here on Freestyle. Such a clean map when driven to perfection. And they're really pushing it. But still, the world record 107.08, I literally can't tell you how Pac did that. That is an astonishing record that he set last week. And we'll see them in match 4 today, so maybe he can push it for a 106 even. Seems like that is possible for them. Into the ice. They only need a loss here into the breach. They cannot get aced, but they can lose a round. Just one of the players getting second place would be enough to win this map. But right now, the worst is about to happen. Massa and Grenadi with momentum, about 0.2 of a second into the identity, but they have to be flawless. One mistake on the last jumps here, and they will lose the round. From either player, they have to be clean. They still have a chance here, but Massa would need to get past both into the breach players. On the last click, he's going to risk it. Goes high. Grenadi clips it, and that is going to be the map as into the breach. Ace big to take it with a 12-6. Great round, though. Look at the times. Everyone within 107.7. That is astonishing. It used to be that a sub 108 would win you the map, but that is no longer the case. The level has risen. So we're now seeing some replays. Started out so strong for Into the Breach. 2 aces where they caught big scrambling. That was really the only big mistakes we saw, was them in the first couple of rounds, and though they fought back in the second half, Into the Breach held on to that lead. A great last round to close it out. Now we're going on to the next map here. Parkour is the choice from Into the Breach. They're looking to carry momentum. The reason they pick this so often is because it's a map Mime and Alcon really excel at. It has a lot of air control, a lot of slidey surfaces like plastic, and it also has this tricky identity where you can do flips, you can do low air times. There's a wobble people are talking about being a very important factor on parkour. Massa and Grenadi have stated they can drive comfortably 0.7. That is a 102.7. We saw Binks last week drive 102.2 as the new league record, but Alcon and Mime have consistently done 0.4, 0.5 here, and they have a very risky line coming up, which we will see if pays off in the bobsleigh here. They are the team that enters this turn the latest, trying to carry the most speed, and you might see Mime here passing Massa with more speed. Same for Alcon, but that could cost him around later on. Into the dirt uphill, super close here. Grenadi 2/10 behind, but the other 3 are sandwiched right on top of each other. More speed though for Into the Breach in the first part of the identity. Here, Massa going late on the transition. Can he get that wobble? You see, he flicks the car, tries to go for the risk, but he respawns together with his teammate, and Into the Breach are going to ace round 1, 102.36. They came here to fight. That is a great time for Alcon. Great start for Into the Breach. Can they follow up map 1 with another ace? Back to back here. Or will Big be able to do to Into the Breach what they had done to them? And take the opponent's map choice. We'll see here. That 102.3 is bound to make you worried a little bit at least. If you talk about driving 0.7s here and you see 0.3, you have to step up your game. Grenadi tries to do that, risks a bit in the uphill and slides out. Calling that now to Massa, putting a lot of pressure on him. There is a strategy that the players know of that Massa could use here, the flip strategy. It's a situation you might just have to go for it or have to beat both these guys on pace, but that does not look like it's going to happen. So Massa here is probably thinking, do I go for the flip? Do I send it here in the ending? But he clips again, and the double ace will happen twice in a row here. 102.3, 102.5. There's a reason Into the Breach first picked this map. I think every single week it was left open to them. They are just astonishing at it. They have played a total of 27 rounds on this map. And Elcon, before this game, has won 10 of them, and Mime has won 6 of them. It hasn't actually been the cleanest win-loss ratio because of mistakes in the earliest weeks, but they are looking so much more refined on this now, and they're probably feeling the confidence too. What can Grenadi and Massa realistically do against that pace? They're gonna have to keep up, because it does not look like Mime and Elcon are gonna make big mistakes. Mime with a small one, the first from his team, and Elcon as well in the quarter pipe, so small opportunity arises here. But they come back with more speed in that bobsleigh. Look at that exit speed every time they beat their opponents there. And now, what are Into the Breach thinking? Are they going to go for the normal line? Are they going to try to wobble the car? Massa is very slow. Mime's made a mistake. Elcon will know that. And what will he do with that information? Can he flip it? He's going to go for the normal line. But look at this. He has more speed. Is Grenadi going to hold on? No, not quite. 9 thousandths in the favor of Elcon. And though Grenadi drove so fast, Elcon gets a slightly better landing, and that's a draw. Still playing into the Breach's favor. It is so amazing to see how good the players have gotten. How can we have several players drive 102.3.4? How is that not just a dominant round victory there? Grenadi and Massa have done their homework. They knew going into this, into the Breach, we're gonna pick hardcore. If they left it open, and they decided to do so, they banned Flip of Faith. So they would rather play this. They rather thought they had better winning chances here. Let's see what that prep can do for them. Once again, first and second, another mistake from Mime. That's the second most consistent average here, with a 103.01. Elcon chasing right now. But Massa and Grenadi still ahead. I think he's gonna have to try it. We have not seen many players dare to go for this flip, but you might as well. You have a lead, you have something to work with. No, we're just gonna see consistent driving. Maybe they just want to keep that rhythm. Look at this though. Big entering back. 47 and 48 the times on the board. They are amazing at this. This is fantastic. So maybe it's not so one-sided. So we see big fighting back, and this happened on map 1 too, but those 2 aces that they conceded in the first 2 rounds cost them freestyle. Will it cost them hardcore as well? They might need another ace, as they cannot keep trading draws or victories. That would play into the Breach's favor, and Elcon has made a mistake. But now Mime, sort of the captain on the Into the Breach team, has a job to do up front. He loses speed in the bobsleigh though. Big beat him in that segment, but Massa hitting the inside wall, an unforced mistake. That's very unfortunate. Same for Mime in the uphill. Grenadi versus Elcon, top 2. Elcon clearly faster here in that battle, but is it gonna be enough to catch up? Is he gonna try anything clean here, or is he just gonna, he's just gonna go for the point, the 1.4 second, and then make that actually maybe a draw here, as we see Massa failing the identity. That is going to work out nicely for them. 8-5. If they keep trading like this, Into the Breach will hit 10 first. Massa getting some last minute practice here on the identity. That wiggle that you see on that landing is the fastest way to play the identity. If you're not doing the flip, you want to tilt the car in such a way that it reduces airtime. It reduces airtime, the car bends over the corner of the block, and it lands earlier with that booster. Gains you about 2 tenths. However, you have a very difficult car state to control, and that's why you see players fail there most of the time. But they really can't afford to go much safer either. 8-5, they need something strong here. They need at least a victory, preferably an ace, to have good winning chances. Mime and Elcon up front, they could close the map right now. 2-0 off the bat if Mime holds second place, if Elcon holds first. If Massa is a little too far, are we gonna see a flip? I mean, come on, the people have been waiting, I've been calling for it. Are we gonna see a flip? Anybody, it's the last chance they have here. Pretty much. Grenady respawn. Sorry, Masa. Grenady going for the flip. He's trying it. He's gonna gain with it, but it's not enough. Alcon and Mime, 0.39, 0.41. Dominant parkour gameplay. They're up 2-0. At least we had one flip, okay? I hope someone else picks this and just goes for flip every round. I mean, Gwen and Binks, they could probably do it every round. Come on. Flips are exciting. But a pretty strong second map. Unfortunate for Big, though, as they did prepare for map 1, they did prepare for map 2. But the 2 early aces is really what's defined this matchup so far. They would be right back up to equal in both maps if it wasn't for those first aces. And the problem is, while these replays are playing, right, the players have 30 seconds to get in the mindset of playing one of these 10 maps at peak performance. And that is difficult. To just, 30 seconds, all right, let me memorize perfectly how this track worked again. Sometimes you mess up one turn here, one turn there, a little bit shaky on the identity, and that could cost you that 9,000 round that we just saw. Amazing stuff. As well, clutching the win for Into the Breach. Slowdown is track 3. This is picked by Big, and they really have to win this one, I believe. Slippy Slides is a great map for ITB, which would be the next one in the match. And going into this, we kind of talked about Big needing to win the first couple of maps because later half seems to favor ITB, but again, these early mistakes. This is where Into the Breach has been clean so far. Just right into the first round of a map, they don't crash as often. Here though, Mime losing a little bit of speed. Grenady with a chance. Grenady has the fastest end approach in the league. It is actually, I think, shown to be faster the way he drives his identity, but only if he nails it perfectly. 2/10 behind, going for a risk. That is not what he wanted. The airtime is going to make history repeat itself here as Into the Breach start off with another ace. Building off the momentum from the previous 2 maps, and starting out with an ace on Big's second choice as well. Very unfortunate here for Big, but they have fought back. If they can concede 1 ace, but not 2, that would still be enough for them to have a great fighting chance here, and maybe entering back with an ace of their own. Masa, again, strong start. Not making a mistake here. Now going to try to set up wide. They want as much speed as possible into this bobsleigh, and look at them getting it better here than Into the Breach. Masa getting right up there with Alcon. Grenada getting past Mime. Good start for Red Team here as they're getting past them once again. Masa up in first, Grenada second, not by a lot. Just a 10th or so. That's how close the rounds are in slowdown. They're gonna need to risk. This is not a situation you can afford to safe in, but they at least have some leeway, some breathing room. Grenady going for the wide setup, catching back up, taking over both players, and there's gonna be an ace in return for Big with just about the same times as Into the Breach drove. We could realistically have a round here decided between 4 players by less than 500ths. That's how competitive they are on this map now. To round number 3. Both teams a bit shaky, getting off with an ace each, but here Alcon, the next player to make a small mistake on that outside dirt line, going too wide, clipping the wall. Mime in a tough spot. Gets good speed here in the hill though, gets past Grenady here on the bobsleigh, it looks like. Ooh, beautiful small little ice wiggle there as well. Something we're gonna see more of, I think, in the seasons to come. The new ice wiggle that the players have discovered. It's getting him a little bit on that exit, and that's why he's ahead right now. That's why he has about 500s to work with. Up the hill we go. Can Grenady and Masa try to get past him and secure some points here? Mime with an inside approach, but this is where he might lose some time to Grenady, who's coming in for that first place, but 100th is enough for Mime to hold on. It's a draw. Intense rounds here, fighting off Big in a 2v1. Great job from Mime to clean up for Alcon. Now equal out as we go into the new round. No mistakes on the... Oh, I say that too soon. Mime hitting the outside dirt wall this time, and it really does not cost much. If you remember parkour, we had +5, +6. It only really costs you half a second. But on this map, that's might as well just be an eternity because the differences are so small. So now let's see what Alcon can do for his team this time. Crossing the checkpoint. Great split by everybody. This is on pace for a 0.5, 0.4 even, with a perfect ending. Alcon, though, hesitating in the drift a little bit. Both German players getting past him into the uphill. He needs a great finish here to snipe them both. Might get one, but Granati goes for that high-speed line, and he's going to get none. That is an ace. And 0.5 by both players. Amazing stuff there. And Big has had a bit of a rough start on this map in games they've played in the past. They lost to Casey on this, who said they won the map just by picking slowdown against them. Look at this, though. Big are looking so much faster here. If they've had this pace last week, they would have beaten KC. And it shows they have prepared. But the pace is one thing, the consistency is another. Mistake from Alcon, mistake from Masa. Granati and Mime battling for top one right now. Good speed for Granati. Struggled a bit with that drift in the last week. Looks like he has cleaned it up. Had to release. Mime with an opportunity to pass. Will get that just by 100th before that identity. Now, which line is going to be paying dividends here? It's not going to be airtime, that's for sure, as he falls down. But does he fall into last? It looks like it's just going to be a draw here, as all players finish in their positions. Masa had an opportunity to get a win for Big there, but a draw will also suffice. 8-5 now.
Track point, Big.
Still track point. A victory now. A regular victory. Enough to get them the map win. But really just showing how much they have improved now. Granati and Masa's median time on this map is a 57.2 for both players. And in this game, I think they've only had under 57 seconds when they don't crash. Again, we see a player from either team making early mistakes, although Granati's was way more costly. It's in the favor up into the breach here, and I think if Masa is gonna do anything here, it would be to try to save second place. It's getting past Mime here, and risking getting aced is a bit too costly. Just a second place would do, but a win as well to deny some points would be good, and he's gonna get that one. Taking it away by 300ths. 9-6 now.
Draw.
Or 6-9. However you wanna say it.
Track point,
A draw needed for Big, an ace needed for Into the Breach. But most importantly, no crashes are part of either team's recipe. They have to stay clean here. And the outside turn, great release by Granati. He was going too wide, great adjustment ahead of time. Made that look seamless. Now onto the grass. The early right turn here, setting up wide for the dirt. Get as much speed as possible into the bobsleigh. Looks like Alcon is catching up a little bit. That tiny ice wiggle they do at the exit here. Gonna get Alcon slightly closer to first. Full sending in it as we have two mistakes. We have Alcon and Granati in first and second. Mime and Masa battling for third. Taking a look at the battle for first. Granati just needs to hold second place and they will win the map. They only need a draw. He doesn't actually need to pass Alcon here. Just stay there. Don't crash. That's going to be the comms. Look at this. He's taking it extremely safe and they know it. Big are going to win map 3 here. And their second choice, slow down. A different tale here. Big win by 3 points. And you know what the difference was? Only getting aced once early instead of twice. 1 ace difference is what gives Big the win here. Else they would be equal, but after they started getting aced here, they finally were able to answer back with an ace of their own, 3-3. And they built momentum off of that. Also that one spectacular round they had. 56.5s by both players. Just stunning. to do that in a match. Now we have Agility Dash. This is a map that was picked by Into the Breach, and it's one of their best. They pick this every week. They are the team that has played it the most, with 26 rounds for both players. Out of those rounds, Mime has won 8 of them, and Alcon has won 6 of them. But the interesting stat is that they've crashed the other half of the rounds that they haven't won. So, basically, go figure. That tells the story of Agility Dash. You either win or you crash, and we have an early crash from Alcon. It's one of the longest maps in the league. It takes 1 minute and 28 seconds to complete it, and driving at that level for 1.5 minutes might not sound like a lot, but I think all the boys in chat know just how long 98 seconds can feel sometimes, or 88 seconds even. It can be an eternity, and we see Mime busting out there in second 38, giving Big an opportunity here to ace, if they can hold on to it. To look at the second half of the map, which is the most decisive. A lot of crashes happening on Agility Dash here, starting with this technical part. Gernati, again, clutch timing to release the acceleration. He was headed for the pole. Avoiding that though, but getting caught up to by a little bit. 1 second of a gap. We go on these knife edge transitions. And then the identity awaits. The Agility Dash, they go at 300 speed now on very narrow plastic ledges, and you just have to make sure that you don't clip any corners, you don't collide with any jump, and you will get yourself an ace to start. What a turn of events it has been. From getting aced twice on the first 2 maps, from getting aced once on map 3, they are starting themselves now with 3-0. On Into the Breach's choice, no less. One of their best maps. And I believe it is actually the first time we see Grenadi and Massa on this map in the tournament. I think they practiced it, but never had it chosen against them. And it's not a map they favor. They're starting out strong, and I think they're looking to beat Into the Breach here on raw consistency. Going back to parkour, their game plan was to drive slower, but at least not crash. And I think they're looking to do the same here. We know Elkin and Mime can drive 128.4, 128.5. We're probably going to see Massa and Grenadi drive 128.8.9 instead. 0.4 of a second slower. Just to make sure they don't crash and lose the rounds that way. Massa fighting for first, getting past Alcon in a speed slide. Alcon, one of the world's best full speed players. That is no easy task. Taking first place for his team. Alcon on the inside approach on that drift. Getting past for a split second, but Massa re-inherits the lead. Grenadi also looking for that third place. Very close though before the identity, and this is where things will definitely shake up. Alcon missing that one transition, losing speed, leaving Mime in a tough spot. Are they gonna get double aced here, or is Mime gonna have anything to say about it? Going for the transitions now, needs the early jumps, needs more speed. Then Grenadi in this slalom part, and he gets it, but it's not going to be enough. He runs out of runway, and Big ace twice. What a turn of events! Suddenly, it feels like Big are the team with the momentum. And ITB kind of scrambling now. Getting served a bit of their own medicine as we see Grenadi into the pillar. And if they were the team looking for consistency with, as we saw, 0.8, 0.9, then this is going to be a very tough round to win when Grenadi crash. Massa has to try to beat 2 of the fastest players on this map with 1 minute of driving still to go. What can he do? He had a good speed slide last time. He beat Alcon in this segment where they hit the snow for a better setup. Let's see the speed he gets. Wants to get at least 635. He gets 641. He's going to catch up for sure. Getting closer with that one. Now a wide setup into that long auto drift. Looks like he had it. on lock as he's caught up to 1. Mime's still ahead though, but a better inside drift, and he's past both. Mime makes a mistake, and Alcon with a weaker line leaves Masa in first. And how much is the damage? Mime only 1 second behind, Alcon right up there though. But Masa could secure a draw here and still keep that 6-point advantage for Big. On into the breaches. Map choice is going to be Alcon versus Masa in the identity. He's played well for 1 minute now. Can he hold it in the ending? Alcon about a 10th ahead as Masa jumps wider onto that last plastic part. Alcon will keep that lead and take the round, at least a victory for ITB. But it's 7-2, and they have a tough path to win this map.
Victory. Track point, big.
Also one of these slower rounds there. 129.2 is about average pace on this map. It's not the winning pace we've come to expect. Maybe we've been spoiled with the 128s. It's so difficult to drive. And you can tell how punishing just one mistake when you're going for fast lines is. Grenadi crashing in the 10th second is basically just left there waiting for his teammate for a minute, hoping he can do something. Now he has some scoring potential himself, but it's again into the breach, gaining an advantage in the start, a 10th or so. It's all they have gotten though. As we go into the speed slide, Grenadi, man to watch. Can Masa do it well? Once again, can Grenadi also match his teammate's speed slide? 6:35 there as the speed goes into the loop. It's still better than mine, but Alcon is on a banging pace right now. 2/10 ahead of everyone else. He extended his lead on the speed slide. Grenadi had to adapt with a Neo slide there on steering wheel to not crash the wall. Gonna cost him a lot of time though. Looking for Masa to do something against this red team. Alcon and Mime, and Ace would be so important for them. They jump across the pentagrass here. Can Mime try to beat Masa in this identity, or will he get beaten by Grenadi? Low line by him, but Mime more speed. Coming back now, trying to overtake Masa. Masa having to let off accelerate, and that is an ace for ITB. Back in the game now, 5-7. Just some last second practice here. We go into the next round.
Track point, big.
Big's lead has diminished, and I would say quicker than in the previous games where ITB were up to aces. They often got to 8-5, at least 7-5 here. 1 point difference. But that still gives into the breach a lot more wiggle room. The only thing they can't afford is an ace. Right now, anything else, they can tank at least one more round from Big. Maybe even take over the lead themselves with an ace. So they're in a good spot right now, but definitely still advantage for Big. It's just 3 points to close out this one. Once again, the speed slides. Looks like Masa has really refined this. 640 is not easy to get here at all. He gets it consistently. But Mime just inside trajectory, 49.4, great checkpoint time. Technical part, once again, looks like it's way stronger for Big. They always gain time here. More well worse than the technical style. Now the ending, which has been so good for Into the Breach. We are going into it once again. Let's see what this one's gonna bring. It's Mime the lead. It looks like a draw happening, but then 2 respawns. I think Grenadi fighting for first right now. Looks like he will get that. Mime in second, Masa in third. Only one mistake. That was Alcon, and if his teammate crashed as well, that would be the map. But they are still in it. The 1 point to hold on. 6-9 once again. What a great game we have so far. What a nice game we have so far. I can't even see the Twitch chat. I'm just assuming you guys are doing your part and all hitting the nice button. I just assume, alright? Sometimes I think you are predictable in my head, and I could stream without looking at chat and still know what you guys are saying. I hope you're enjoying the game so far. Tell your friends this is happening. Again, Janik is unfortunately sick today, so I'm doing a solo, trying to play both parts, trying to be a bit of color, bit of analysis, and also the play-by-play. But he will be back with us next week. But for now, let's see how Into the Breach can handle this. They need to ace. It's the only outcome where they still get to play another round. They just need a loss or draw. If they pass one player, they will win the map. So Big, they could take away Into the Breach's choice here to make it very exciting. 2-2, and Masa is fighting so well in that tech part. Great slides. Again, just a segment they have unlocked. They've been working on a mistake there. Is so big for Big because Elcon is currently behind two of the big players, and if neither of them fail the identity, or even one of them, they will win the map. Just gotta save the lines here. They see the splits, they know the situation. Last couple of lines here, making it look easy. Big take map 4, and we have quite the series on our hands now. Great stuff from them. We're going to map 5. But first, some replays.
Victory. Big wins the track.
It was a very close battle here, going all the way to a last deciding round there, 6-9. But as we can see in the replays here, Big going for consistency, punishing Into the Breach's mistakes for trying to drive a little bit too fast, it looks like. It's a story of agility dash. Every time Alcon or Mai made a mistake, Big was there to capitalize. 2 quick aces, and then just consistently gaining more points. They had some signs of life, but it was not enough. We're starting map 5 now, picked by Big. Arrow Pipes. It's a map that they have first picked against Alliance. They also picked against... no, wait, they did not pick it against KC because KC banned it, I believe, if I remember. Or I might misremember, but either way, it's a map they really favor. They're quite strong here. The world record 1:10.3 though, and Mime has one of the fastest times on this map in the offline rankings. So interesting to see how they will fare against ITB, who also played it last week, and Alcon was one of the strongest carries here, individual performance-wise, for his team that week. And look at this again, Alcon on this map. He's a dangerous driver. But I take no blame. I take no blame. It's just some, like a lightning hit his house or something. That was not my fault. How can you say that's my fault? It is not, as Mime is in first, Grenadi in second. Mime no longer in first, and it looks like an ace is possible, but the respawns from so many players shows what Arrow Pipes can do to a match. It's a fiesta right now. Grenadi gonna make it a draw. A draw. That was a draw. That was just 1 point per team. Alright, everybody calm down. So, as I was saying, Alcon individual performance-wise, amazing stuff on Arrow Pipes. Won a lot of rounds, great consistency, 110 just about every time. But you also see the crashes here. Arrow Pipes, it's a map that's rarely picked by any other team than Big. We saw Solary pick it in one match against BDS, I believe. They played it, they won it that time. But other than that, not a lot of teams favor this. We also saw Sinners pick this actually against Solary. But they don't pick it because it's so hard. Because the ending is so difficult. It's like you're coin flipping rounds on who survives the very precise pipe jumps. Kind of like just, instead of putting your opponents on a technical win by 100th map, this is like putting them on a khaki map. Elcon and Mime They're showing they can handle the driving of this map well, but can they handle the jumps? Grenadi and Massa are going for consistency here. The steering wheel that Grenadi uses with such precise input could play a big role here. The first jump, Massa has missed it. It's a 1v2. Alcon with low speed. Grenadi, the steering wheel player with slightly more speed. It's a draw by the 1000th. And Mime wins it not by name. Not by name, but by being ahead at the previous checkpoint. A dead tie, though, makes that just a regular victory. That is a rare occurrence. That nearly never happens. I think it's the second draw we've had to the 1000th in the entire league so far. I mean, just imagine that. You drive exactly equal to someone else. Great round. We go again. Tricky ice slide here for Mime, losing the line early on and having to eat several gear changes there to get back on track. Once again, Alcon with a job to do up front. He almost had it last time, but missed one landing ever so slightly. Massa crashing out the wall, though. That makes this round advantage into the breach now. They inherit first and third. Grenadi just lying in wait, seeing what Alcon is up to. And a mistake on the jump, and Grenadi's gonna make this a draw. I don't think Grenadi's gonna fail the jumps. Just gonna see if Alcon will. Oh, Grenadi gets a slow landing. Mime quickly coming back up into second, and that is an ace for ITB. Grenadi not missing the jump, just landing in the spot where the polygons connect, I believe is the term. And that causes a slowdown. So it's into the breach with the ace. 6-2 now. On Big's choice. And a great time too. 110.6. A strong winning pace. Start out. That was a round that looked like into the breach we're struggling on. They had the weaker start. Mime missing the ice slide a bit. Look at this now. Into the breach, feeling the momentum. They have first and third, but that's about to be first and second. Alcon pushing up the hill, going so close. Nearly losing ground contact, but keeps his car on the track at the very least. That's a crash. Pushing a little bit too much. Massa also looking very aggressive with the lines right now. Going so close to every corner and maybe going a little bit too close. Fighting over more than he can chew. Mime up in first, though. And you gotta be clean on these jumps. That's the tricky part about the map. You can play so well, but if you can't land these jumps cleanly, it's all for nothing. Mime still ahead. Massa missed it. Alcon could pass him. Could make that a win for Into the Breach, but he has respawn as well. Massa takes third. 110.5 from Mime. That is the third fastest time in the league right now.
Draw.
Also beats Massa and Grenadi's best. We both have 110.6s. So they are gonna need to set new records to keep up with that if Mime drives it again. Very interesting start here for Alcon. Went so wide there. Still hit the perfect plastic approach in that wall slide. Like a very strong start for the Czech player. It's Mime, Massa, and Grenadi very close for second place right now. Massa, great trajectory there. Going past Alcon with those lines combined. Just barely though. Make sure to go wider here now, don't want to clip. This is where he lost a bit of time last round, but so close up until Mime made a mistake. Still close between three. They have a shot at an ace. They have a good shot at an ace because Alcon went for a weird trajectory there. Can he somehow get past both here? It would take a miracle. I think he released even. But look at this. He's getting past one. Grenadi going wide. That's a bit of airtime. Not quite. Manages to get in between though, and it will not be an ace. 8-5 lead. If Alcon did not release that first jump, I think it would have been it. But also very hard to predict what's going to happen to your car there on those pipes. You saw in the previous round, one player landing on a polygon, losing all their speed, can easily happen. Next round. Ooh, this is an opportunity for Into the Breach. Massa failed the ice slide. Grenadi might have to get past both. Half a second. This is dangerous. This could be the map right now. They only need 2 points. And get that with a first and third. So let's see what Grenadi's gonna do. He's gonna risk. He has gotten the call. You can tell the lines he's driving right now are not, in particular, very safe. He gets past one, but can he get past Mime on the pipes here? Can Massa get past? Massa also right up there. It's not impossible that Massa gets past Alcon and prolongs this game. Mime with a slow landing. Grenadi is past. Mime actually respawning, making this a win for Big. And they put them under enough pressure, forced the mistakes. 9-7 now. This will be the last round of the map.
Victory.
Either Big win with an ace, or ITB win with every other outcome. No, Into the Breach has gotten off to the best starts. That's where they have such a strong hold on this map, as Massa makes an early mistake. And what that means is, again, the scenario where so long as Mime and Alcon survive this map, survive the pipe jumps, just one of them, they're gonna win. That we just have to wait and see. At this point, if you're Into the Breach fan, you hope they hit the jumps. If you're a Big fan, you hope they miss, because it is all in their hands right now. Are they gonna capture it or let it slip? We had Big with a situation like this on Slippy Slides against KC, and they lost that scenario where all they needed was to hold on to first and second. So what will Alcon and Mime do? Here we go. We're at the identity. 3 pipe jumps between them and winning the map. The first one clean. The second one also good. Mime missing it, but Alcon will continue strong, and the last one's good. They take the map. Slower pace. They didn't need to risk. And they are now 3-2 in maps and going on to a map of their own. And with that, please enjoy some replays while I grab myself a drink.
Wins the track.
I think arrow pipes here just showing the chaos, the carnage that happens on those pipe jumps. Crazy stuff. We're going on to another map, a bit similar, not too different here. Slippy Slides, the identity known to cause many players to crash. One of the most crash-heavy maps in the league as a whole. Big won this last week in their match against KC. And I don't remember Into the Breach's last performance, but they were the ones picking it, and they have picked it in previous games as well. They're very good at this identity. And if I remember correctly, Mime actually taught Massa this identity for last week's game. At least gave him a few pointers. They're good friends, of course, but now we'll see if Mime's knowledge will be used against him here. If Massa can use those lines that Mime told him about in the bug slides. We'll see that when we get there. First, a lot of tricky grip management here. You have this no slide you have to get across the freewheeling. The car very prone to sliding out there, and then a bug slide into an ice slide cancel to straighten out your car. Trying to really demonstrate if you have car control or not. And now the identity. 3 bug slides here. The first one, Grenadi setting up very wide, going for an inside line on the last 2. He will pass Mime with that, but can he get the last one? Because there goes Mime, not quite. Ooh, and almost gets aced. Granati with a 111.2.
Victory.
Amazing time to start us off. Even an amazing time for Mime. 0.5, 0.6. That's a great winning pace. But Granati elevating how quickly they're going now. Everybody knows it. This is gonna be fast. You really have to win the rounds. It sets the bar. Granati's previous best time here was a 111.57. So going up to a 25, a 3/10 improvement, that's really massive. That's not something that happened on accident. They are ready for this. Oh, and with Mime crashing out, that does not look too good for ICB. Alcon trying to catch up. Wide setup there into the dirt. Now an inside approach. Quickly to the checkpoint. Very wide here. Actually really like that line as he gets past Granati, gets up close towards Massa. But not enough to bridge the gap. Granati also coming back with a bit more speed. And then the identity. Can Alcon win it out on the bug slide? Such a sharp angle. Knows he has to. Another one here. He's close, but Big is still holding on to the lead. Or are they? Alcon trying to snipe both. 100th behind Granati, but 100th ahead of Massa. Incredible round. Such a shame. The spectator point of view in this ending is so hard to follow. That, if you look at the replay, would be an amazing round. The in-game replay files themselves. As for a little bit of statistics here, I think Mime's one of the best performing individual players on this. With 19 rounds played, he's won 10 of them. And Alcon on his team has won 3, so 13 rounds out of 19, they've gotten first place. And against Big here, they are on the back foot. Now, a good round has opened up though, with Massa crashing out. But Granati has looked like the fastest player for their team. Very clearly, 111.2. It's again a map that really favors steering wheel precision. Being able to just gently move as you go through these wet wheel parts, these bug slides, and also the ending itself. Oh, Mime with a mistake on that uphill. This is a scary spot. They're not far from acing and they're not far from getting aced. We'll see on the jumps. Granati consistent. That looks very steady. Up in front. He's gonna win the round and into the breach. We'll get second and third. Look at that. 111.25 again from Granati. I believe it's the exact same time, admins. I think that's a tie with his previous run to the 1000th. Just wanna maybe someone could look into that. That's a bit. It's very consistent, all right? That's what it is. That's when you know you're consistent. It's like an archer that can hit the same spot 10 times in a row. Trackmania player just driving the exact same time to the 1000th. Back to back. Next round out. This is how Big are winning. We said Mime was consistently getting first places, but his pace when he got those runs was 1:12.06 median pace. That's not gonna cut it anymore. You have to go faster. Granati, small mistake. Car slid out a bit. So there is some opportunity here. Massa 2/10 though. But always gaining a little bit here, I feel. Mime and Alcon with their inside line. More speed now as Massa has slowed down in the water. Oh, very inside track. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to cut it. Does that leave Big in first and second? It will. Last bug slow. No! The ace was right there and it might still be. No, it's not. It is not. It will actually be. Let's not call it too soon. A draw. It will be a draw. Very unfortunate there. A German green car flying into the stratosphere on the last corner. Still 4-6. Still so tantalizingly close. It really feels like Big's had a lot of potential here, but they haven't gotten the scoreline to show for it. Still only 2 points. Of course, remember that Into the Breach, they have won 3 maps. They only need 1 more. Could be this, or else we go to reps. Very nice low airtime there for Mime in that dirt up and downhill. Just perfect maneuver, and that's gonna put him far into the lead now, I say. So Masa gets a great line there. Mime still holds the lead, does go into the dirt. Alcon and Grenadi struggling to keep up right now. Both players up front are on massive pace right now. The bug slide also there. I wonder if Mime and Masa are having an internal competition right now to try to break the league record. Mime definitely looking for it. Let's see if he gets the bug slide approach. He missed it last time. Gets the grip now, but pretty wide. Same for Masa. That's going to be a mistake. That's going to be Grenadi up in third. And what is... Wait, has Mime also respawned? Is it Alcon? Alcon at first! And that would then be Grenadi in second and Mime in third somehow. Mime and Masa both respawned. But think about this. Mime was well over a second ahead of Alcon before that identity.
Victory.
And God knows what time he could have done with a perfect end. 6 to 7 though. Still just incredibly close. Grenadi having to let off in the start a little bit. Going wide, but getting a bit more speed. Opting for safety. Masa clearly not. Somehow, 14 seconds in, he's 2 tenths ahead. Good speed there too, but this is where Mime gained. Getting no airtime whatsoever. Now, Big are getting great lines of their own. Alcon, 4 tenths down already. And they are on track point, Big, and Ace would do it. Look at this. They have a chance at it, but Mime, such a good low trajectory there past the freewheeling, gets 1. Looking for the second. Getting past momentarily. Inside approach up here, though. We'll play it into Masa's favorite. Looks like ever so slightly, but Mime passed him. Finally, with a 4/10 lead, cannot afford to miss this right now. It is only him between Into the Breach and the Ace. Getting 2, getting the third, that low. No, I'm not sure about that. He gets sniped. He gets sniped as he had very low speed, but Alcon, are you kidding? They're gonna secure the draw, and we still keep this endless game of limbo going towards 10. Just one small step at a time.
Draw.
It's 1 point at a time, 7 to 8. I think we've done this since it was like 2 to 4. One decisive round here for either team is what they're looking for, and Masa, he had a great start last round, and here he shows what the price you sometimes pay for going that fast is. He crashes out on the first wall ride jump into the breach. They have just hit track point, and that is also match point, as if they both pass Grenadi right now, they win the game as a whole. Grenadi, if he doesn't get passed by both, he's still gonna win, and I think with Mime sliding out there, he just needs to look for a safe identity right now. Perhaps Masa could even catch up to Mime, and he will. Positions for third and fourth have flipped. Very interesting round right now. It could actually be Big winning the map as we speak if the positions remain. If Masa keeps third, Grenadi keeps first, that is Big winning this one. Looks very close, both places. Grenadi probably gonna take first. As we see, Mime has passed Masa for that third, but never mind, he clips. And that one mistake will win Big map number 6. We're going to 7. We're going to reps to see who takes game 1 of the day. Incredible stuff here.
Big wins the track.
Starting with that one round where I really wish we had a replay. Alcon in such a tough spot, and then got a wider exit there, but it's right between them. 1 and 200ths. Crazy finish. Grenadi in the next replay. Went a little too tight on the bug slide, and you're gonna see him fly out of frame here. This is the problem. If you set up too wide early, that will happen late. It's a byproduct. The same happening, you know, in a later round, but also a big win there. The snipe when Mime had a little bit low speed. Guys, we gotta get back into the action. It's reps. It is the decider map. Both teams have played this so many times already. It's one of Into the Breach's most played, but I think they are not too comfortable on this against Big, because Big has also shown they're, you know, interested in picking it. So far, they've played 16 rounds on it, Alcon and Mime, but only 6 first places in total. And Massa and Grenadi have played 7 and only 3 first places in total. In the first couple of weeks, they banned this map. They didn't want to play it at all. And then something flipped where they're like, yeah, let's, you know, first pick this. And now, in a decider, they need to make it work. And Grenadi is 1 second behind the splits. Massa almost too wide on that drift. Pace probably 106.5.6 is what the players are going to dish out here consistently. That has been the standard. So we see the ending. The identity on reps is driving on these narrow beams here. Barely wider than the car. You gotta be precise. You gotta not crash. Massa, big speed, gonna take first place away from Into the Breach and deny any ace from happening. We're starting with a draw and a 106.71. Also a really good winning time if you can drive that consistently. The world record, 106.43. Actually tied by 2 players, by both Binks and Mutta. They have the exact same time to the 1,000th. I believe Alcon and Mime have driven 106.4s themselves, but not the world record. No, sorry, they have 106.5. The way you get that is by doing things like that outside line you see them trying to do. That gains a little bit of time. It's why they are ahead as we speak. Also getting more speed though into the drift here. Pace just about as fast as last round. Wide into the loop. Want to get as much speed as possible before the grass part. Try to keep gear 3 here in the downhill. Grenadi joins the mix this time. He's not 0.8 behind. Any team could get good out of this one. We're going on to the first beam. Big mistake from Alcon. Massa clipping off as well. It's going to be first and second for Mime and Grenadi. And who gets third? It's Massa with the quickest respawn, it looks like. Alcon clipping that first one, losing 10 seconds. 106.68 as well, showing they have about the same pace here, the 2 teams. So in a clean round, I think it's literally a coin flip for a few hundredths. It's kind of like Slowdown, the map that we started on, I think it was 3rd map. Very close rounds. So now going to the uphill drift. We've seen players struggle a bit here. A lot of crashes in previous weeks. Or if you crash there, it costs you so much. Massa crashing 1 turn later, that's also going to be very costly. It's now ITB outside line once again executed well, and they're up 2 tenths, I would say, just about. What can Grenadi do from this spot? Can he find time against Alcon and Mime? Gets a little bit there, it looks like, but has to go wider here. Mime's gonna hold on to about the same lead, but Grenadi coming back well into this. He's gained about 10 hundredths so far. Needs 10 more though. Needs something in these last jumps. Going lower than Mime perhaps, or wider than Alcon perhaps. That's not good. That's gonna be an ace for ITB. 106.50 flat for Mime. And on the decider map, Into the Breach are halfway to game point. Clutch round there and a great winning time as well. So close to the league record. How can Big answer back? One thing they definitely need is no crashes. From this point on, I think you cannot afford to crash. Because even if one player crashes, that's going to be a draw at best. To keep doing that into the breach or getting too close, you need to gain ground, win rounds. They have used up their quota. Right now, again, not looking great for Big. Mime with such fast pace up front, really trying to force mistakes to happen. Grenadi 4/10 behind. Alcon in third right now. Let's see what happens on the jumps. Definitely in favor of Into the Breach before the identity, but we know anything can happen here. First jump will go well for all four. Second, whoa, and then Mime's out. And that is how this identity can shake things up. We see Massa winning with a 0.6, and Mime was so far ahead of that. He was on, I believe, world record pace until that one crash. But Big are still gonna win. The points at the end of the round is what matters, and they close the gap a little bit. 2 points instead of 3. That would be a very important round for Into the Breach to win, but they did not get there. It is Alcon's first season. You have to see how the pressure in Game 7s like this get to the rookies. Mime was fresh on the stage just a year or two ago. He's holding his own well, except for that round, but Alcon also needs to do the same. His team are gonna win this. Grenadi again losing a little bit in the start. It's not a lot. 2/10 is great in most circumstances, but here on reps, the margins are so small. That 2/10 starts to feel like a big gap to close. He's gonna try here in the downhill. The grass, he's so good at this style. But it's the two blue players up front. The jumps now, can they land them and get an ace here? That could close the match, but Massa has something to say about it. He's gonna miss! He's gonna miss! And they will get the ace! Massa missed the finish! Oh no, it's heartbreak for Big. They're down 9-4 now. And it could have been 8-5. Still would have been tough, but here, aces are the only way forward. 2 aces in a row. ITB only need a regular loss. You need to see flawless perfection from Big, and a crash from Massa will make the dream all but out of reach. Alcon and Mime now gonna see that on the splits. And Grenadi as well. Ladies and gentlemen, game 1 of this week, I think, is coming to a close. It would take... I don't even dare try to cast a curse this, but it's looking very dire right now. Or perhaps very promising. If you're an ITB fan, both these teams in the bottom of the league right now. Their first 4 games, a 1-3 record. And Into the Breach could get their second win on the scoreboard right now and fight for the playoff spot. And if one of them survives and get into this finish, they will. Alcon takes that one for his team, but Mime's right there. It's GG. Into the Breach. They conquer Big here and take their second win in the league. And what a treat! We get to Game 7 on the first game. That's fantastic. We got to see a really interesting dynamic. Into the Breach acing a lot in the early rounds. Big coming back with some aces on their own on the 3rd or 4th map. And then they traded blows. It went to 7. But here on reps, that random decider map looking very good for ITB. And you have to wonder if it was not reps and if it instead was... I believe, well, I cannot remember the open map that we did not see. You could wonder if it was another map, but reps really plays into their strong suits. Started out with a draw, then the Breach got this one ace that really put them in the driving seat. And then some mistakes here led to the eventual defeat.